I'm Pooja Vijay Anand, and I have brought you a project on how to perform a data analysis on a sports data set using R programming, and we use a shiny dashboard to view various plots. So let's dive right in. I wondered what dataset to choose, and I thought, what better than an IPL dataset? Because who doesn't like IPL, right? So, what I did was I chose the IPL dataset from Kaggle and I used it for our data analysis right here. So, let's see how it is. So firstly, we load our libraries. So the libraries that are required for this project are first is the Shiny library. So basically, Shiny is the dashboard which we are trying to perform here, which we are trying to get here. So first we load that. Next, we load the Shiny dashboard. Next, library dplyr. So dplyr basically gives us a variety of functions so that we can perform data analysis functions such as group by, mutate, summarize, etc. Now, we load the library ggplot2. ggplot2 is basically used to create various graphs. Like we can create graphs like line chart, histogram, bar graph, etc. Now library plot.ly. So you might be wondering, if we already have ggplot2, why do we need plot.ly? ggplot2 only gives us basic standard graphs, but plot.ly allows us to create interactive graphs. Now what do I mean by interactive? Interactive means basically you can hover around the graph, you can zoom over it, you can see various values. So it gives you a more interactive platform in which you can view the data and gives you better understanding. So after we load all our packages, it's time for us to load our data. So what I noticed while downloading our dataset from Kaggle is that we had not one but two datasets for the IPL data itself. So one was the IPL matches dataset and another was IPL deliveries dataset. So okay, let us first see what are the syntaxes we should use to load them in, and then I'll show you how the data sets are. So first we load the data using the read CSV function. So that will basically read our CSV file because our matches and deliveries dataset was in the form of an Excel sheet. So as we know, in the Excel sheet, it is stored as a CSV file, right? So once we load them in, let us view the IPL matches dataset so that you can get an understanding of how it is. So since I've written the view IPL matches view function, we can see how our data set is. So right here is the IPL matches data set. In this, we have our IPL match ID. So what they are doing is they're assigning a particular ID for each match. And in this, we see the season. The season is 2007 or 2008. Then we see the city they've given, Chandigarh, the date, the match type, the player of the match, the venue, the team one, team two, that is the two teams which are playing. Then we have the toss winner. Then we have the toss decision, the winner of the match, the result margin, target runs, target overs, super over, method, and umpire one and umpire two. So what do we see here? We see that they have given us a clear data set with a lot and lot of columns, giving us various types of attributes for this data. And I think this is more than enough for us to analyze on. But along with this, we have a deliveries data set. So when I perform view IPL deliveries, we see the deliveries data set. What is there in the deliveries data set? Basically, the deliveries data set consists of the same match ID because you want to match between the two data sets, right? So we have the match ID again, and then we have inning, first innings or second innings. So this is inning one, the batting team, the bowling team, over ball. So what do we see here? In this data set, we basically have each and every single ball of every over. So in this, there is a clear-cut analysis of how every ball was being played in that match. How cool is that? So in this, we see we have the batter, the bowler, the non-striker, the batsman's runs, the extra runs, total runs, the extras type. Is it a wicket, player dismissed, dismissal kind, and the fielder? So now we understood why we require two data sets, right? We thought matches itself was enough, but no, deliveries gives us a clear-cut understanding of how each ball was put and how each ball was played as well. So then, once we are done with that, what we are doing here is, see, we ourselves can see that it has 2,60,000 entries. So our data set is very huge. Now, there is no use in performing our analysis on such a huge data set, because whatever like value we get from that is not going to be that useful. So what I thought was, let us perform our analysis on a short data set, such as we can choose a particular year and perform analysis on that particular year. So what I chose was the IPL 2020. And so you might be wondering, from this huge data, how are we going to take IPL 2020, right? So it is very simple. So we basically start filtering the data for our particular year. So in this we do filter for IPL 2020. And how we perform that is, we take the IPL matches data set, which is right here, and we use the pipe operator. Now, pipe operator basically has a particular function. It takes the output of this, that is IPL matches, and gives it as an argument to the next variable. So our next is filter season equal to 2020 bar 21. So if we see in our data set, IPL 2020 is given by 2020 bar 21. So in this, we get filter season equal to 2020 bar 21. And then in this, again, we perform pull ID. So what do we mean by pull ID? Pull ID is basically, it gives your ID as a column of vectors. I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what a vector is. A vector basically has a data, can consist of a variety of types of data. Like vector is a type of data set in which you can put integer also, float also, and character also. It will consist of everything. Right. So pull ID basically gives you the ID in the form of a column of vectors. So we use pull ID here. Now, once we got that, we can do view the season 2020 IDs or the print season 2020 IDs to get what were the IDs in that particular season. That is the match IDs, right? So when I perform view season 2020 IDs, I'm getting all the values right here. But, and then I wanted to also show you guys how it happens if we print it. Now, the issue with this is, here I've written print season 2020 IDs, but I've given a capital S instead of a small s. So we need to remember that this is very case sensitive because the variables are there. And so we need to be very careful while performing our analysis. Now here I've printed the season 2020 IDs and I've gotten all the IDs right here. Now once we got all of them, we take our IPL deliveries data set and we want to filter it according to only the 2020 data. So what we do again is, we use the pipe operator, we use our filter function, and then we do match ID, percentage in percentage, and season 2020 IDs. Now what this will do is, it will only filter the 2020 data. Now again, we can view the IPL deliveries 2020 data right here. So this will consist of only our year 2020's data. See, match ID, batting team, bowling team, over, ball, and we have all the columns here for the 2020 data, right? So after that, we also take our matches 2020 data and we perform the same filter function. Now, why do we do this? We do this because we want to also filter that and get our 2020 matches data, right? So for that, let us perform our filter function. Yeah. So then we get matches 2020. So in matches 2020, what happens is, we get ID, season, city, everything the same. So if we notice here, 2020 was our COVID year. And at that time, the IPL was performed in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, right? So here the city is Abu Dhabi for those matches. Okay. So once we are done with this, what have we done till now? We have basically filtered our data, the deliveries and our matches data for the year 2020. So our filtering is done on our data. Next, whatever we are going to do is going to be things that we do to get the shiny dashboard. So firstly, I'm giving team colors. Why am I giving this? Because we know that IPL has different teams of different states, and all of them have different colors, right? Vibrant colors. So what I'm doing right here is I'm assigning each team a different color according to its jersey. So Mumbai Indians is blue, Chennai Super Kings is yellow, Royal Challengers Bangalore is red, etc., etc. So I'm giving all the codes for them. So once I'm done with this, this is done. Now we go to the UI. UI is basically the user interface for the shiny dashboard. So here we take our dashboard page and we give the skin is equal to purple. So if we see default, the color of a shiny dashboard page will always be blue, but I wanted to give a different touch to it, so I'm giving it purple. Now, once I'm giving it purple, what I'm doing is I'm taking dashboard header, that is the header in the dashboard, and I'm giving the title as IPL 2020 dashboard. Right. Now, dashboard sidebar, that is the sidebar which will be present in the dashboard along with the main area. Now, in the sidebar menu, what all am I giving? Let's see. I'm giving menu item home because I want a home page. Next, I'm giving top scorers because I want to see who were the top scorers in that particular season. Then I'm seeing the top bowlers because I want to see who all were the top bowlers. Then I'm seeing the runs over time. That is, I'm seeing which over were the players able to hit the maximum number of runs. So for that, I'm seeing runs over time. Then I'm seeing run distribution. In this, I'm seeing that in each ball, how many, like, in which ball are they hitting the maximum number of runs? Like if you see in each ball, a player's maximum number of runs will be 1 or 2, and the maximum number of runs in a match will mostly be 0 because it will be the dot balls, right? So that is what this graph gives. Next, we have player search. So I wanted this to be present because I wanted to click on any player's name and I wanted to see how did that player perform in that particular season. Because I think that is something that we all will think, right? Oh, in 2020, how did Dhoni perform? How did Kohli perform? Was that his best year? Was that his worst year? And all of that. So for that, I've given player search. It will give the statistics of that particular player in that particular year. Next, I have about. In the about, I basically just wanted to give something about the dashboard and who was it built by, etc. So once I'm done with this, this will basically give like a general structure of how I want the dashboard. Next, I go to the dashboard body. That is, till now we were seeing the sidebar. Now I'm going to the body, that is the main area. So in there, I have tab items. In that, I have home. First is home. So in the home, I wanted I use fluid row. Fluid row is basically used to give a responsive web design. Okay, so for that we use the fluid row function, and in that I give value box output total runs. So I wanted to give in my home page, I wanted to have like a different kind of perspective to it. Like I wanted different boxes to be present consisting of the general total statistics of the entire year, like not going to a particular team or particular attribute, but in general, like total runs, total wickets, total matches, total teams. So this was my general idea. So for that, I'm using value box output. Then I'm using fluid row and I'm doing a box of title team performance, that is total run, and I'm building a plot here. So for that, I'm using plot ly. Plot ly is basically used, as I mentioned before, is used for giving a kind of interactive graph, right? So for that, I'm using plot ly output team performance plot, and in that so I mentioned that. Next, the tab item, we have top scorers, that is H3 top 10 run scorers, plot LY output. So the tab item top scorers, as I mentioned before, in my left side, I wanted to have top run scorers, top bowlers, runs per over, etc. like that. So for that, it's written top scorers. So how do I want this to look in the shiny dashboard? I'm giving top 10 run scorers. That is the name of that. Then plot LY output, it basically gives a plot output of top scorers plot. Right. Now, in the tab item, top 10 wicket takers. So I basically want the heading of the main area to be top 10 wicket takers, and I want it to give a plot there as well. Now next I'm giving runs over, that is runs by over. Similarly, I'm giving for all of them, right? So then once this is done, we are going to this server. So this was all about how I want the structure to look like, what all I want to be present. But to implement all of this, we need to use particular functions and we need to see how they can extract all of this from the data and give us the correct analysis, right? So for that, we go towards the server. So in the server, we basically use the input output into the function, and we first use output dollar total runs. Like I want the output to be of the total runs, and I use render value box. Render value box is basically used to give a box of various values. So total runs, we are calculating the total runs here of the entire season, and for that we do sum of the total runs in the IPL deliveries 2020 data set. So this dollar is basically like from the IPL deliveries 2020 data set, I'm taking total runs. Like it is giving me the particular column. Total runs is the column and this is the data set. And NA.rm is equal to true. Now NA.rm is equal to true means even if there are any boxes with NA values, not available values, it will not omit them and it won't cause any errors. Okay, now value box, we are getting the value box which I wanted to be present in my homepage. Total runs, it will come as total runs, and we use an icon. So the best part of Shiny is that you can give various icons and you can literally describe what kind of an icon you want. So I have described right here that I want a chart line icon and I want the color to be green. So I want a box which should be green in color with a chart line icon. Next, for output dollar total wickets, render value box again, total wickets is sum of the IPL deliveries of 2020. This is the basic data set, and I'm taking player dismissed column from this, and I'm writing player dismissed not equal to, and then I'm giving NA.rm is equal to true. Now value box total wickets, then I want it to be written as total wickets, and I want the icon as skull crossbones. As you can imagine, it is wickets, right? So I wanted it to be like a skull with crossbones, and I'm giving the color as red because wickets. Next, total matches. So in this, what we do is we are basically taking value box and we are doing n distinct matches 2020. We are using the matches 2020 data set and we are taking the ID from that of the particular matches played in 2020 year, and I'm giving the icon as calendar and I'm giving the color as blue. Now for total teams, what we do is we do unique C matches 2020 from the matches 2020 data set. We are uniquely taking $team1 and $team2. That is, what were the two teams that played in each match. Then we do the length of these teams, so that unique is basically used to omit any values that are repetitive. So for that we use this, and then we get the total teams and we use the icon as users and the color as yellow for this. So then we have gotten our boxes, right? Yeah. So then we need our plot, which I mentioned that I want in my homepage. So for that, I'm using the team performance plot, that is render plot ly team runs IPL deliveries 2020. And then I again use the pipe operator. As I mentioned before, the pipe operator will take the output of this and will give it as an argument to this. So we saw that we loaded something called dplyr, right? So dplyr gives us these functions: group, by, summarize, pipe operator, arrange, etc. So using that, we are performing this. So what we are doing is we are taking our IPL deliveries 2020 data set, and in that we are grouping them by batting team. Okay. Then we are summarizing the total runs as sum of total runs. NA.rm is true. You will not get an error by the NA column and any values in the column. And then you will arrange it in the descending order of total runs. That is, you want the team which has the maximum number of runs to the team which has the least number of runs. Okay. So this is our basic idea. Now we store this in what? Team runs. So then we create our plot. Plot ly team runs, which we got here as the output of this. And then we take our x-axis as reordering batting team and total runs. We are basically um trying to reorder the batting team and total runs, and we take that as x. In the y-axis we take total runs, and the type of the graph is bar graph, so we give type as bar. Next, marker equal to list, color equal to team colors, team runs dollar batting team. So it basically takes, you remember in the beginning we gave different colors to different teams and I stored it in something called team colors as the variable. So we take that variable because I basically want every graph in the bar graph to have the color of that particular team which I assigned in the beginning. So I use that and it gets the color from that. Next, the layout. How do I want the layout to look? I want the title of the graph to be total runs by the team. The x-axis should have the name as team, y-axis should have runs, and the margin is equal to list b equal to 100. This will basically ensure that there is good amount of space and the x-axis is not hidden. The name of the x-axis and stuff is not hidden down. Okay, so this is what we are mentioning, right? Now, we go on to our top scorers plot. So let me just show you all how our homepage would look. So we saw our IPL 2020 dashboard and we are getting to see that it is purple in color as we gave the color purple. And as I mentioned, we have different boxes because that was my idea, right? And I'm giving total runs and I gave the line as my icon, line chart. Then for this, I gave the skull with the crossbones. And then in this, I gave calendar. And this, I gave people. And what are we seeing here? We are seeing total runs of the season was 19416. Total wickets was 677. The total matches were 60 matches. And the total teams were 8. Along with this, we also have a bar graph showing the total runs by the teams. So in this, we have total performance, that is total runs. And we see that the team which performed worst in that season was CSK, which usually performs like really well. And the the team that performed best in that season was Delhi Capitals. So each of the teams have their respective colors as I gave them before. So this is how our homepage looks like. And as I mentioned that in our structure, we gave various sidebar menus, like we gave top scorers, top bowlers, runs over time, run distribution, player search and about. These are all present here. But in our code, we still haven't given any functions to all of them. So let's see how that works. Now, in our so next we do our team. Okay, this we are done with. We do a top scorers plot. Now, all of you need to understand that coming next, what all graphs we do, we use plot ly for all of them because we want to have interactive plots for all of them. Now, in our top scorers plot, basically, we take the top batters and we are getting our output as top batters, and in that we take our IPL 2020 deliveries data set and then we group them by the batter, we summarize them, runs equal to sum, we arrange them in descending order and we give slice head n equal to 10. So what does this mean? This means that it only wants the top 10 values that you get from this because I only want to see the top 10 run scorers in that particular season. So I give head n equal to 10. Next, again, this in a similar way, we are getting x-axis, y-axis, type as bar chart, the color, and then we are getting our layout. So next we have our top bowlers plot. In this, basically, we are seeing the top 10 bowlers of that particular season, right? So we do the same thing here as well, and we get n as 10. Then we perform our plot ly, and in this we give type as pie. Type as pie because I don't want a bar chart again, I want a pie chart for this. Right. So then we have our line plot. So basically in this, I want to see how in each over how many runs were there. So for this, again, we group them by the over. We give average run is equal to mean of the runs, which here we summarize runs as total runs and then we get the mean of them to get the average runs per over. Next, we use plot ly, and in this we have a scatter plot because I want a scatter plot for this one. In the next one, I'm using a histogram to see what were the maximum number of runs in each ball. So for that, I use a histogram and I plot this as well. Next, for the player stats, in which I want like a drop down where I can click on each player and see how they performed in that particular season, I use render print and I get the stats. That is, we take the deliveries data set, we filter the batter, equal to input dollar player input, and then we print the player total runs, balls faced, strike rate. All right, along with these particular functions which are used for printing all of them. And then I finally run the app. So for that we use Shiny app UI comma server. So once I do this, we get our Shiny application, which is right here. And you've already seen our homepage. So then let us see our sidebar. We have top 10 run scorers of that particular season. So what did I mean by plot ly was that in plot ly, it allows you to download the plot as a PNG. You can zoom over it, you can pan over it, you can select a box, you can select lasso, then zoom in, zoom out, auto scale, reset the axes, show the closest data on hover and compare the data on hover. So it gives you with various functions here. Now, if we see the top 10 run scorers of that particular season was KL Rahul with 676 runs. The next was Shikhar Dhawan. And 10th on the list is ABD Villiers. So we have player, runs, and the graph right here. Now, for top bowlers of that particular season, we have taken a pie chart, and in this we see the best was K. Rabda, and next we have Bumrah right there, and the 10th one is CV Varun. So this is our pie chart for the various wicket takers. So this is very useful because in this we can see that a pie chart will give maximum for the best, and then slowly you see the area decreasing. So this is the pie chart, and again in this you can download the plot, you can hover around it, etc. Now we see the runs over time. So the runs over time is basically in which overs where the maximum runs hit. So if we see in this, we can see that basically the maximum was hit between the 15th over to the 20th over, because as we know, those are the death overs in which batsmen are targeting to hit the maximum number of runs, right? So we see that the maximum was hit in the 17th over with 19.2 1 second. Yeah, with 19.2 runs in a single over. So that was the maximum number of runs hit in that particular over. And the least was hit in the first over, in the 0th ball, that is before the first ball, that was 12 runs. So we can see that in each over, how many runs were hit, and this was 17th over, this was the first over, second over, third over, fourth over. So we see, and in this again, you can zoom over it, and then you can basically pan over it, and then you can basically select, etc. Next, we have run distribution per ball. So in this, we see that the run distribution per ball is in each ball, how many runs were hit maximum. So it's dot ball, one ball, dot ball, that is 0 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, and then we have 4 runs, and then we have 6 runs. Because as we see, they can either hit a 0, they can hit a 1, they can go for a 2, they can hit 4, or they can hit 6, right? So that is what we see right here, and this is a histogram because it gives the frequency. Now let us search for a player. So in this, we have all the players in that particular season, and let me take Devdutt Padikkal. So player Devdutt Padikkal, total runs are these, balls faced are these many, and the strike rate is 118.84. So if I'm taking anyone else, taking this person, P. Dubey, total runs are 7, balls faced 13. I think he's a bowler because with such low runs. Let's take Quinton de Kock, total runs 506, balls faced 368, strike rate 137.5. Now, the about, Basically, this dashboard shows the IPL 2020 stats using our Shiny, and it is built by Pooja Vijayanand. So, yes, we are done with our Shiny dashboard, and the code is provided in the GitHub link, which is mentioned below. So, please do have a look, and thank you so much for listening.